eve of India's 78th year of independence, we bring you a special telecast. The story of the valor, courage and defiance of the Ahom Kingdom, which was settled in Brahmaputra Valley, who fought the wars against the Mughals not once but several times in the 17th century and were never once defeated or invaded or could not be invaded by the powerful Mughals. This image on your screen that you see is of Bahomoragurani rock inscription, located at the Tezpur end of Kolia Bahomora Bridge across the Brahmaputra River in Assam. This, for the longest time, was said to be the only evidence of a historic military conflict in the northeast. In 1616, Sheikh Kazim Khan, the governor of Bengal, on the orders of the Mughal king Jahangir, sent a force of 10,000 troops, 300 war boats on the banks of the Brahmaputra. What he did not know was that an army of 30,000 men and 700 war elephants was ready to take them down. This was the army of Pratap Singha, the Ahom king. The Mughals lost thousands of men in the conflict, and according to the Baharistan-e-Gaibi, a Mughal chronicle of the history of Bengal, Bihar and Assam, there were 1,700 soldiers that were killed. There were 3,400 of them that were wounded. There were 3,000 who went into hiding in the jungles, and 9,000 were taken captive. Only a few commanders were able to escape. Over the next 50 years, the Mughals attacked Ahoms 17 times, and they faced defeat every single time. After consolidation of his power in Delhi, the new Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb sent Mir Jumla II, the Viceroy of Bengal, to invade Assam in 1662. Mir Jumla II attacked the north and the south banks of the river Brahmaputra and was able to occupy Gahargaon, the Ahom capital, by 17th of March the same year. King Jayadhav Singha had to retreat and continue his fight against the Mughals from Namrup while Mir Jumla occupied Gargaon. The Treaty of Ghilajariyag that was signed in January 1663 brought an end to the Mughal occupation of Gargaon, giving the Ahom king the tributary status. But what Mughals were so interested in the northeastern region? The answer is the Brahmaputra. It was one of the most fertile lands. Also, those who ruled Assam had the grip on the East Asia trade. And this is the reason why Mughals have attacked Ahom Kingdom repeatedly in the 17th century. The Mughal general Ram Singh was taken with subduing Ahom Kingdom of Assam, but it was successfully resisted by Ahoms. It is believed that the Thai people reached the Brahmaputra Valley in the early 8th century. The local indigenous people joined them over time. Sukapa, who was the leader of the Thai group, established the Ahom Kingdom in the 13th century. From them on, Ahoms ruled for 600 years in Assam. In the 16th and the 17th centuries, this small Ahom community expanded its rule dramatically, and over time, the size of the kingdom had effectively doubled. To help understand the glory of Ahoms in these battles, we have with us Nilutpal Gohain, who is the writer of the legend of Lachit Borphukan. Thank you so much for joining us, Nilutpul. And let's understand from you about what is it that allowed the Ahom Kingdom to defeat the Mughals, who was the most powerful, who had complete control of the northern part of the country back in the day, to face defeat after defeat from this small Ahom Kingdom of just a few thousands.
Okay. Thank you for having me here. Basic idea was, the terrain of Assam is a unique terrain. The river Brahmaputra runs across the whole state of Assam, and the banks are not even banks. There are hilly terrains, there are flat lands across the whole bank of the river. So every time when Ahoms tried to enter Assam, they were enticed to enter Assam through the river route. So that was the main reason, because the Mughals, they did not have a strong navy. So that was the reason they were enticed to enter Assam through the river. And it was like when someone is sitting at a higher terrain than the enemy, then it is easier to defeat that enemy. So that was the main tactic utilized by most of the Ahom generals, and especially Lachit Borphukan, while battling the Battle of Saraikot.
Okay. And like you said, you know, it is a very fertile land, the Brahmaputra Valley, and therefore the allure for emperors, for kings to come and take the land. So first of all, how did the migration of the Thais into Brahmaputra Valley in the 13th century actually happen?
It happened, there were two brothers. One of them was Sukafa. So Sukafa had a quarrel with his brother, and basically he was from the region of Maulung. Maulung is now situated in the country of Burma. So erstwhile Burma, now it's said Myanmar. So from Maulung, he traveled through the Patkai Hills. The Patkai Hills lie in the Arunachal Pradesh. So through the Patkai Hills, he traveled for 13 long years in the Patkai Hills, and then arrived at Khamjang. Khamjang is situated in the border of Arunachal and Assam.
Okay.
So when he arrived, he assimilated with the local tribes by the way of mutual bonds and then friendship. And these locals accepted Sukafa as their king. And they gave him the title of the unparalleled or the unconquered, that translated to the Ahom. And from Ahom, it is believed that the word Assam came. If you see Assam, it's like Assam. Assam is jo saman nahi hai, which is not flat. So that's why people believe that the word Assam came from Ahoms. When he arrived here, he was accepted by everyone, and he established his capital in 1253 AD in Charaide, the first capital of the Ahoms. It was a petty state then, but later that petty state went on to rule this whole Brahmaputra Valley for 600 long years. So there were 41 kings total who ascended the throne, and among those 41 kings, everyone believed in the conception of utopia, that they wanted to build a state where everyone is happy and no one is an enemy. Though there were exceptions, no doubt, but those 41 kings believed in the concept of utopia.
Okay. Talking about the attacks and the attempted invasions, the Ahom Empire also witnessed attacks from the Turks, from the Afghans. There had been, as you read the books, the histories of what happened in the past, this shield that had been very strongly created by the kingdom. Although being lesser in number, less powerful against the enemy, how were they able to better strategize?
There were very distinctive features of the Ahom army. The Ahoms were never an army. It was called a militia, because every person in that army knew how to fight, how to row a boat, how to fire a cannon. They were trained in everything. And there were a special batch of soldiers called the Chor Bachas. These Chor Bachas were the soldiers who did the guerrilla warfare. That means if the enemy is sleeping, they would stealthily enter the territory of the enemy, and then they'll create havoc in their tents. So that was one aspect of it. Secondly, the Ahom navy, as I said before, was very strong. So they used to entice all the enemies through the river route. And we know that the Mughal and the Turks did not have that strong a navy. So the navy, generally, the Ahoms could defeat these the naval, navy of the enemy. And one of the things which I'd like to highlight here is that the last battle of Saraighat, the Battle of Saraighat, there was a unique tactic utilized by Lachit Borphukan. So in a naval war, we all know that the ammunition, the supply of ammunition is very important. So at some point of time, for both the parties, the enemy as well as the Ahoms, the Mughals as well as the Ahoms, the ammunition was almost diminishing. So what tactic he utilized is that he lined the boats in such a way that they formed an impromptu bridge across the entire length of across the entire breadth of the Brahmaputra River. So in that way, the ammunition could come to the navy from the bank without any hassle. But there was no such arrangement for for the Mughals, and that's why the Mughals could not face the bombardment from the Ahoms, and they had to retreat. So these are some of the unique war tactics they utilized during the attacks, and hence, I'd like to say that for the Mughals, their soldiers were either trained in one trade or the other. Either they were trained in cavalry or they were trained in elephantry or something like that. But for the Ahoms, it was not like that.
Okay.
Everyone knew how to fire the cannons, how to fight a war, how to row a boat. So that was the main, I'd say, edge the Ahoms had over the Mughals.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.